Hey everyone, how are you? It's Dr. Jill Davis, physical therapist from the Traveling Physical Therapist. As always, I'm here supporting the 400 Fewer Falls initiative, where we're trying to reduce the fall risk of 400 Long Islanders within 12 months by providing education and treatment. I have, as always, a very special guest with me, Miss Kathleen Mazza. Kathleen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Daniel. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Kathleen actually works at Island Transitions, which is a senior moving company, and she's going to tell us all about it and all about herself. Just an interesting story, and I think we're going to have a fun time sharing it. So first thing I always like to ask, what was the thing today that made you smile?
What was something that made me smile today? Well, it's Valentine's Day. And when I woke up, the sun was out. So I thought that was pretty nice.
You know what? What a beautiful answer. My grandfather, who spoke Italian, he spoke English, but he spoke a little Italian too, and he used to say, quando verde è solo da mattina fa così, hai comprato un altro giorno. I like to start my workshops with that. It means when you see the sun in the morning, you clap your hands, you're here another day. I think that's such a beautiful sentiment. So I agree. What a great way to wake up and as your mindset.
Lovely.
So Kathleen, tell me a little bit about how you got into Island Transitions.
Well, I didn't know senior moving was a thing, was a career I could do. I came to it from almost 30 years as a laboratory technologist in a hospital laboratory. I was a clinical chemist. So of course that has nothing to do with seniors and senior move management. But I met someone who was in the industry, and I worked with her for a few years. And then I started my business in 2011, Island Transition. So I've been the owner, and my husband is the behind the scenes guy that does all of the bookkeeping and taxes and such. And me and my team of about 8 people do all of the senior moving, downsizing and sorting and helping people pack and move. It's a lot of details and a lot of hand holding, and it's a wonderful profession.
You know, when you and I spoke on the phone a few weeks back, I was blown away. I think what you just said, it's a lot of hand-holding, a lot of details. Obviously that's something that, Island Transitions. Tell me, what some of the things that, the details that you had to go through? What are some, the hand-holding, some stories that maybe might get out in your head, say, oh yeah, I remember this one time when, ...
Sure. It all starts with the phone call. They're overwhelmed. Let's say it's a woman, maybe 80 to 85, and she'll call me up and she says, I need to move. It's not something I want to do. It's something my kids are kind of pushing, and I've been living in the house for 55 years, and I'm nervous. I don't know what to do first. I'm going to be going to an independent living and retirement community, and I don't even know where to start. So I kind of have her take a deep breath, and I said, I'll come over for a free consultation. I don't want anybody to have to pay for a service of someone they haven't met before. So I believe in that strongly. So we make an appointment, I get to know them a little bit, get to hear about the kids and whatever. And then I show up, and then they see me, and I'm a real person. And we get chatting about what is their story, because I want to know. I want to know how I can help and how me and my team can fit in to help them ease that transition, which is major. You're living in a house independently for many years, and many of them have had major losses. They may have lost a spouse, they may have lost a child, they've lost mobility, which you know a thing or two about. They've lost maybe their eyesight, their driving ability. It's just rough. And they're living in a house that they can't maintain anymore, and they're overwhelmed. So we handle all of the details with getting them to the place. I find a mover for them, several movers, get them an estimate. I'll go to the new community that they're going to be moving to, and I actually measure at the place. So then I can give them assistance with what furniture they should bring. We don't want to have any surprises on move day. So I know that the couch, the recliner chair, the end table, all of those kind of details, those pieces are comfortable, they can fit, they can move around safely, and they're bringing the important things that they wanted. So that's just a little bit of what we do.
Kathleen, what I'm hearing is, like I said, your attention to detail is fantastic, and I'm hearing that, but there's an underlying tone that I think resounds even louder, which is there's an emotional connection between what you're doing. you and who you're working with, but also you're saying like, oh, these people, they've been living in the house for 55 years and they have to move, and there's a lot of handhold. It sounds like it's an emotional component. Have you had instances where it's gotten outwardly emotional?
Absolutely. That's pretty common. And it isn't always with the person who's moving. Sometimes it's with the son or the daughter, because it's very emotional for them. This might be their childhood home. So there's a whole lot of dynamics involved. And I'm there to be that calm, I've got it under control person. And I do a zillion emails and phone calls with the daughter who's a little freaked out. How am I going to get my mom there? We're dealing with the doctor. We're dealing with the realtor. You know, there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. So all the parts that I can take care of, I say, don't even worry about that. I've got that under control. If you can get mom from her house to the place that we're moving to, I'll handle everything else. And then they'll often have stuff left over at the house. Because let's face it, they're moving to 1 or 2 bedrooms. They're not going to have a garage, a basement, attic, you know, 2 guest rooms, you know, a full kitchen. Maybe they're not getting a full kitchen. So we pack what, you know, makes sense. Maybe 4 dishes, 4 glasses, 4 mugs. The teapot that they have, the Keurig. Everybody takes a Keurig with them, you know. And important papers, some jewelry, sentimental items. This is one of the examples I tell people. Let's say I go into their bedroom. I take pictures, so then I recreate what they had in their original home to be similar to what they're going to have in a smaller sense, but similar to what they have, so it feels comfortable. If they have their wedding picture framed on the left side of the dresser, where am I putting the wedding picture? Right back on the left side of the dresser, because that's what's comfortable. That's how they've had it for years. Maybe the jewelry box is on the right-hand side. The vanity mirror is in the center. We're going to unpack it just like they have it.
That's
and
beautiful.
Thank you. If they weren't so organized at home, because, you know, let's face it, they've been in the home for many years and they're looking at it as everyday things. I'm looking at it kind of like, well, how can I improve things? How can I make life easier for them? When we unpack their clothes in the closet, I organize it so all the blouses are together, the jackets, the slacks, dresses, so then they can easily find things. And we even, you know, if we have extra time, we put them in color order. So all of the white blouses, the pink blouses, the navy blue, you know, we're professional organizers.
You're really taking the attention to detail to that next level.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely. And then we give them an introduction to their new home. We open up the kitchen cabinets. Here's where you have your glasses, your dishes. Now you like the blue,
yes, very important.
Blue cereal bowl, right? You know, they have particulars. You like the orange mug with the frog on it. That's going to be on the lower shelf because that's what they use daily. So we just make it easy.
And Kathleen, I got to tell you, when I moved into this home that I'm in right now. We moved in here in, I guess it was June of 2018. It was just a month before my son was born. We moved into this home, and the first month or two was me trying to find out where we put all of our stuff. So that's great attention to detail. I like that. And you were saying that, like, you know, a lot of times the emotional component is from family, which I totally understand. You also mentioned that your husband works with you. Do you have a lot of family? Like, I mean, obviously, I'm a huge proponent of having family work with you. You obviously and your husband. Do you have a family besides just you and your husband? Is there, like, do you guys have everyone kind of chipping in and doing something with you?
Well, I have paid staff, but my husband is the only one that is not paid. So you know, he has.
I'll tell you, my mother. Yeah, my mother works with me. She helps me out tremendously. She's the best. She's the best. And I tease her because, you know, I pay her just enough. You know, she doesn't ask. She said, I don't really want, just give me, like, if I just need to, like, buy something, you know, she gives me a little bit. So I give her the whatever. And I always tease her. I go, you know, I can't get work this cheap anywhere else. And she's fantastic. So I definitely understand.
Absolutely.
I definitely get that.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, my husband has a full-time job. And so he helps me. He's a business manager. So he works with numbers and budgets all day long. I feel sorry for the man because then when he comes home, I'm giving him IT things to do. You know, the printer's not working. I can't get this thing to work on the computer. You know, I need to make up an invoice. So he's handling all the QuickBooks, the taxes, the invoices. He's like, do you have a receipt for this? Yeah, I have a receipt in my folder. And then I give him the checks and then he deposits them. So that's the part that he enjoys.
I'll tell you, that's good help. That's very good help. Now, if let's just say we had a situation where we had because I know that you work with, obviously you work with seniors, but you also do a lot of communicating with the children of seniors, baby boomers, you know, and that group, and even younger than baby boomers.
Sure.
Like, if you had the children of seniors, all of them are listening to you right now, in one sentence, what advice would you give them?
We take care of all of the details, so you don't have to. In fact, I had a client where I never met the daughter. She hired me. She lived in Seattle. We talked on the phone. I met her mom. She was at an assisted living place, and I needed to, well, she was like at independent living, but she needed to move to the assisted living. So I talked with the daughter, and I managed everything for her mom, and she never met me. And her mom did, of course. We had interactions many times, and I successfully moved her, got everything sorted, and things that she had back at her home, we had to downsize, we had to donate, we had to remove, and everything was handled, and the daughter paid, and I never actually met her. So it was kind of an odd thing. So, you know, just like they give me the keys to the house, I get the job done, you know. It's what they're paying me for, and
You get the job done. I like that. You get the job done.
I do.
Okay, Kathleen, here's a question for you. What advice are you better at giving than taking?
Time management. I struggle with that. I mean,
You're so detail oriented.
I am detail oriented, but it doesn't mean that I don't struggle with that too. And my house is not the cleanest house around either. I can make somebody else's house terrifically organized, but I have a little disorganization in just my life, running my personal life, my, you know, home life, religious life, business life. I've got a lot of stuff. So, you know, I walk the talk somewhat, but I'm not perfect.
Okay, here's it's confession time. You ready?
Sure.
I teach people how to take care of their bodies, take care of their health, and sometimes I eat chocolate cake, and sometimes instead of going on the treadmill, I sit and watch TV. Okay, I said it. It's out there. I can't take it back. We both did it. We both are much better at giving advice on these than taking it. So I give you, forgive me.
Congratulate yourself on being human.
Exactly. So
I am too.
here's my next question. If you had $100, $1,000, whatever, $1 million, whatever it was, you found some money on the floor. No one can take claim to it. You can't donate it. You can't invest it. You can't hold on to it. You have to spend it on yourself. What does Kathleen do with it?
Well, I guess it depends on how big amount of money it was, but I would like to do another river cruise because I thought that was an awesome vacation.
Where did you go?
Well, we went to Europe a couple of years ago from Amsterdam to Switzerland, and we went on the Rhine River, and it was a fabulous cruise. It wasn't a gigantic ship with like 4,000 people on it. It had about 200.
Yeah, those river cruises are a little tighter.
They're a smaller boat. They're called long boats, and you just arrive at the city that you're going to be visiting. You leave your luggage in the room. They get you a bus to go wherever you have to be, or sometimes you just walk out of the boat and then you're right in the town. You get a beautiful tour of whatever the attraction is there. They feed you either in the city or you go back on the boat. It's so relaxing, and we saw beautiful things. So if I was going to treat myself, that's what I would want to do.
And you know what? I hope that you find that $1 million and you could treat yourself. And your husband, who's doing all this free work for you. Both of you guys should go back on the Rhine River. And listen, Amsterdam, I've never been to Amsterdam, but I have family from Holland, and I'm dying to get over there. I cannot wait. I'm trying. It's on my bucket list. It's on my to-do list. I gotta get there soon. So that's very cool. If I found that amount of money, I'd probably be with you on that same riverboat. Okay, I like to do this thing. I found this book called 2,000 Questions About Me, but it's not going to be about me. It's actually going to be about you. I
All
want
right.
you to give me, we're going to pick a number from 0 to 2,000, and I'm going to read the question. I'll let you know if it's not appropriate, say a different one. But if it's appropriate, we'll do it. So pick a number
Okay.
from to 2,000.
161.
Okay. Any reason why you picked 161?
I have no idea. It was
Okay.
random.
I always like to ask that because some people go, oh yeah, it's my anniversary. Other people just go random.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, here's something fun. Would you rather ride along with a firefighter or a police officer for a day? And why?
Well, I'd like to ride along with a firefighter. I think that would be exciting. And my dad was a firefighter for 19 years.
Wow. Okay.
So I think that I would like to see a bit of his world.
And I'm assuming you got to ride along with your father.
Well, I would like to ride along and maybe hold the hose, but I don't want to run inside the house.
I agree with you. I think from what I've heard, holding the hose is like the most like endurance, strength, power thing ever. Because there so much water comes out of there that you have to really like buckle down, get a nice tight grip.
Yeah, you could get knocked over by the hose. It's very strong.
Yes. 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 All right. Good answer. Another one between 1 and 2,000.
27.
27?
Yes.
It always makes me laugh when I ask this. A lot of times people are like 7. And I go, there's 2,000 numbers you could choose from. They're like, yes, but I chose 7. Was 27 a number or just random?
Well, 27 is my birthday.
Okay. I really like this one. But if you don't feel comfortable being this vulnerable, I understand. But I would love if you opened up about this one. You ready?
All right, we'll see.
What is your greatest regret?
Greatest regret. I don't have many regrets. I've lived a charmed life, but I regret not asking more about my parents who are now deceased, their lives when they were younger. Because my parents weren't really sentimental people, kind of matter-of-fact people. They lived in the now, which is a wonderful way to live. But I don't know childhood stories about my mom. Like, when did she learn how to ride a bike? Did she use roller skates? I know a few stories about my dad, but I was a kid, so I was more self-absorbed. So I wish I knew some of those stories and stories about when my grandfather came to America from Italy. I don't know that story. I just know he did, but he was like 30 years old and he came over. So he had a whole life in Italy, and I would love to know that. I regret not asking when I had the opportunity.
You know what? I think that every single person probably has that same regret. Just take one thing. I'm working with someone who, she's a psychologist, but what she does now is she speaks with people to try to write their memoirs so they can have something to be passed down to their kids. So I think
Yes.
I think that's something to try to solve that. Everyone I think has that similar regret. And even like right now, like I said, my mother, she's alive, she's well, but I'm always thinking of like, I want to ask you more questions. Honestly, when things don't come up, but when stuff comes up, I love to ask her. You know what I found out recently? My mother, and she's probably gonna be upset that I shared this. My mother, for some amount of time, shacked up, lived in the same apartment with Joey Ramone from the Ramones. So like I was like, get out of here.
That's kind of
So
odd.
apparently that she was like besties with Joey Ramone for a little bit. So that's awesome. So yes, I agree. That's a regret that I'm sure weighs heavily on you. It's hard to kind of just fill in those pieces by themselves. But now like that's the information. You got to write these things down. You always want to have something to tell. Even if it's just a neighbor, like, oh, hey, this reminds me of something. You want to have these stories to tell. I think that's very beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being so vulnerable. I appreciate you opening up like that. That was nice of you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so everyone, this is Kathleen Mazza. She's from Island Transitions. You can find her on islandtransitions.us. Her phone number is 631-421-8255. 3781. Again, that's 631-421-3781. And the website, again, is islandtransitions.us, not .com, .us. And she has a cute little tagline, which I love, which is moving made easy for older adults. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're doing a move, if your mom or your dad is moving, downsizing, moving away, they won the lottery, now they want a mansion, whatever it is that they need, is your person. Kathleen, thank you so much for being on here with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Daniels. It was my pleasure.
Take good care and have a happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Take care.